So another thing that happened this week is Biota, the Relenza flu drug company, they are going to emigrate. So off to the US to have another crack at fame and fortune there. Now here's a graphic of the share price. It's been a very bumpy ride for investors. The share price peaked in the late 90s when it did manage to get Relenza launched globally. And then it tumbled not long after that in a marketing dispute with its partner, GlaxoSmithKline. The plan now is to merge with Nabi Pharmaceuticals and relist on the NASDAQ. And I think there's been a lot of suggestion that they need to go there to get the money. But, I mean, Australia's got one of the largest capital pools in the world. So why do they need to go to the NASDAQ to get money? It feels
more like a refugee fleeing than a skilled migration, I think, you know.
Well, I think Nabil is right. I think they sold this story very successfully as being, you really got to be in the US where everyone knows biotech better and there's so much more venture capital, and that doesn't exist in Australia. But I think the more you look at it, it's more a problem the way Biota was managed and the way they sold themselves, and they did a dud deal, obviously, with their first one with Relenza. And so this is just a way of fleeing. I think Nabil is right.
Yeah, but how are shareholders going to do out of this?
Well, shareholders have done terribly in the last week. Everyone's headed for the exits. It's off 20%, and Australian shareholders are going to be exposed to a lot more currency risk. I think they're, really pandering to their existing US shareholding audience rather than looking after minorities on the way out.
Is that more than the Australian audience? Are they mostly owned by the?
I think the cornerstone
Americans?
is
Do you know that?
the cornerstone is US Holdings. Yeah.
Well, the biggest shareholder is Hunter Hall, an Australian shareholder. But yeah, I think this is a very convenient excuse for the chairman just to be able to pass off the problem, really, because they're going to get a new management team now, and the idea is to get someone who can market the stock better than they've got now.
Yeah, but this is a stock that hadn't even moved when they won a massive, US government contract. It was $230 million. So I guess they have a bit of an argument when they say, look, maybe Australian shareholders just don't see the value in us. But maybe that's because they haven't sold it well enough, because there are companies like Pharmaxis, like Star Pharma, which have managed to raise lots of money from Australian investors.
Sure.